Okay, guys, thank you for coming back. Now we need to do the exercises of that question in Accelerate. Who is in charge of the group that is dealing with Tourism Australia, please?
Hey, well, the Tourism Australia, the case that is in the Accelerate page says that they found the Instagram and Facebook were the most suitable social media platforms to reach their target audience. But when we searched for Tourism Australia in Facebook or Instagram, we couldn't really find anything about that. And their webpage, has a link to their LinkedIn and their Twitter, not their Instagram nor their Facebook.
All right, so what is that teaching you? What is that giving us? What is the message behind that?
That they didn't focus their social media platforms in Instagram and Facebook, as the case says. They focused it more in LinkedIn and Twitter.
Which does not really make much more sense, since they are dealing with people. That is a business to customers.
Yeah,
department.
And they chose a more business-focused approach. Twitter can be pretty business to customer focused.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
But they didn't focus in two of them, or one of the most engaged business to customer platforms. That
which
could
are
either be
Facebook and Instagram, isn't it?
Could be either.
So there you go.
Or they could even use TikTok.
Of course, that would be fantastic for them. But this is, guys, I look, and this is with all respect, my friends. You know, I have been living in this country for almost 20 years. So this is with all respect. But Australia is so behind global standards in marketing and communications. It's so behind. Like with all respect.
Sorry, Santi, when you say
go ahead.
So behind, it's like, what does it mean?
What it means is that the people in charge of these organizations, the people in charge of marketing, you know, like the marketing director, they don't have a clue what they're doing. Seriously. Like, I don't know, like it seems like in Australia, anyone can be a marketing person, with all respect. I'm telling you this because I teach this is my industry, but it feels like the only thing that you need to do, or the only thing that you need to be for you to have a marketing role in this country, is to finish high school. With all respect, it's like anyone can be. And that is why these companies are facing a lot of problems. Like Tourism Australia, they should be killing it. They should be doing a lot of content every day in Facebook, in Instagram, in TikTok. Still, they do not do it. And they have the budget, man. They believe me, money is not the problem for them. But they don't talk to people. They just believe, oh, you know, people know what Australia is. People will come. Forget about it, man. People is not coming to Australia as they were doing before. And it's because of people that is at the very front of these organizations. They don't know how to do marketing. And that was the purpose of that question. Thank you for doing the research. The research is telling us, they may say to the company's owners or founders, yes, we do Facebook, yes, but they only have a channel, but they don't use the channel. And if they use a channel, they use the wrong one, which is LinkedIn. So yeah, good one, good analysis. Thank you for using critical thinking. Yeah, Australia is so behind. Everything that is related to printing advertising is so behind. Everything that is related to television ads or TV ads is so behind. From a creative perspective, is so behind. And so behind from who? So behind from people in Mexico, man. Like, they are really creative. So behind from people in Brazil. They are really good at marketing and communications. Really, really good. Mexico, man, I'm telling you, is a place where people knows how to engage with others, where people knows how to do customer service. It's extraordinary what happens there. What happens there? There is a city in Colombia that is called Medellin. They know how to use social media properly. Like, they really know how to reach people. And they know how to develop marketing campaigns in a very smart and creative way. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, compared to some countries in Europe, not with all of them, because some countries are very behind as well. But Turkey, Istanbul, is doing fantastic. Like, the people working in media in Istanbul, they are so ahead of the game. But New Zealand, Australia is quite behind. And that means that you guys have a tremendous opportunity to be at the very top of this industry. Like, I'm telling you, like, you don't have competition in Australia. You don't have. But if you go to Sao Paulo, it's going to be tough. If you go to Ciudad de Mexico, it's going to be tough. If you go to Miami, it's going to be tough. If you're going to New York, San Francisco, it's going to be tough. So that's what I'm talking about. You know, like, in Australia, we don't have the level. And why we don't have the level? Because Australia is so reactive to everything. Everything happens first in Europe, everything happens first in America, and then Australia will use it, will take it, will analyze it. That is the truth of the industry, to be honest. All right. What is the next group? Let's talk about Qantas Airlines.
Okay. So Qantas, it's airline from Australia, and it's one of the oldest airlines in the world. And they develop social media strategy using TikTok for reaching, she said, Shenzhen people, like users. And they run a campaign that was based on like humorous angle, and they perform really well. And doing that, they reach a new segment of audience that they didn't do before, because they weren't using TikTok, and young people didn't know about the company, but using TikTok allowed them to capture more audience.
They grab the attention of a captive, a new audience. Fantastic analysis, guys. Like, the reason I wrote that question or that business case is because I want you guys to think, it doesn't matter if the company is a very traditional company. It doesn't matter if the company is a large corporation. TikTok still, or it is a really good idea to analyze, to use as a potential social media channel. You know, it's really, really, really good. Why? Because it's fast. Why? Because it's short format. Have a look what is happening in TikTok. Everything is 1 minute or less than 1 minute. Have a look what is happening in YouTube. YouTube Shorts is the new star product of YouTube, which is short videos. Instagram Stories, short videos. So everything is short. We need to learn how to develop content in short format. Everything is about synthesis. Let's forget about long videos. Let's forget about long PDFs. Let's forget about long courses. Let's forget about long assessments. Let's forget about long classes. If we don't learn quickly enough, it's because we are not living in the world that is in front of us. It's a world in which we need to be very, very, very fast, and we need to go only after the essentials. Anything else is supplementary. Anything else is something that we can do later on. Really good analysis, Maria. Well done. What is the group that is behind? What is the other business case? Sorry, guys. So we have done Qantas Airways. We have done Tourism Australia. What is the other one? The other one is Atlassian, isn't it?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. It's the software industry,
Mhm.
and what I read here is they were in the page. When you go into the website, they have as like for marketing, they have the results, like the success that they have had in the past with customers.
Yeah, keep going.
And what else?
Somebody else from your group wants to help you? What is Atlassian's top product? Anybody knows?
Yeah.
Which is?
They provide software services for companies.
One of them is Trello. I don't know if you have used Trello.
I used from Atlassian, I use Jira. And
Okay, you use Jira. Fantastic. From a business perspective, it's really good. Trello as well. It was before a Microsoft product. It was before an independent company. It's fantastic for managed projects. All right, so they create software. And why they use linking? That's what I want you guys to tell me. Why they use linking, Ximena?
The platform?
Why they use linking? Why Atlassian use?
Because their strategy, they have a target audience, so they are focused on that audience,
Which are consultants, which is people that is providing advice to other companies. Well done, well done. All right, guys, fantastic. Thank you for doing that exercise. Let's go to the next question, okay? To the next item. So is the item number 6. So let's do it together. I'm going to share my screen and you give me the answers, please. All right. So a well-defined and executed program. What kind of program? Social media, financial, or business plan program? What do you think?
Social media.
Right. A well-defined social media program can be the difference between a business success or failure. We know that now. Cool. Social media is used for marketing, communications, and customer. What do you think?
Service? No, I don't know.
Of course, yes, service, man. And that's what I want you guys to remember as well from this class. Social media is a fantastic solution to customer service. Amazing. You should be replying comments straight away. You have someone that is all the time in social media channels, helping people to solve the problems. Fantastic. Thus, having a well-defined plan for using social media benefits your business. Having a social media plan is not what I said about social media before is not what I say. It is not mandatory, but it is not what. What do you think? Anyone? Remember what I said at the beginning of the class. I say to you guys, social media plan is not
Optional.
Is not optional, correct? All right. Marketing professionals and practitioners need to be very confident when it comes to using social media for business purposes. Again, for business purposes. Personal purposes is up to you. A marketing professional without social media, what? Cannot be successful in today's competitive environment.
strategy?
Yeah, but what is that the marketing professional should always have? Remember the observations. When we talk about observations, we talk about skills and knowledge. So the marketing professionals should have social media skills. Skills. Without social media skills, let's check it out. Check it out. All right, that is correct. That's what you need to do in your platform. All right. All right, so let's recap what we have learned, and with this, we're going to a break. So this has been the first part of the class. After this, we're going to the break. So what we have learned today, social media is not just a platform for sharing videos, all right? It is an essential skill for every marketing student. Fantastic. Before we start planning for social media, we need to understand the needs and wants of your industry. I told you that. You need to know the industry, your business, and your customers. Now I want you guys to remember that hierarchy: industry, business, customers. Now here's the tricky part. Choosing the right social media is difficult. It's not easy. It has to be done properly. Atlassian, all right? Choose LinkedIn. Good idea, all right? There are so many of them. I don't want you to use all of them. I want you to use one or two, the ones that you can be really good at. Why is having a social media presence so important? Well, I told you, we talk about it. A business without social media, people are going to think, customers are going to think, why you don't want to talk to them? Why, if you don't have social media, why you don't want to talk to your customers is the question that you should answer. It's not, oh, I will not be using, so it's why I do not want to talk to my customers. That is how you should be answering this. All right. So to sum it up, social media skills are not optional for marketing professionals and practitioners. In fact, it is crucial, it is critical, it's of paramount importance to use social media in today's competitive environment. All right, so let's get social, guys. Let's get social. At the end of this class, I want everybody to connect with me, with your fellow classmates. If you have a LinkedIn profile, connect, send the link, ask others for a connection. Please do. If you have a YouTube channel, please share your YouTube channel. If you have a website, share your website. If you have, I don't know, a TikTok account, share it. This is the time. This is the class for us to do so. So start getting those links ready, and let's have a good break for about 10 minutes, okay? See you after the break. Qualification in Australia. All the content is dictated by the government. You cannot change it. Now, how we deliver that content, how we explain that content, it can be changed, but the structure of it, the structure of the content cannot be changed, which is why the Australian education sector is so strong, is so powerful, is really good, by the way. But they give us the platform, they give us the structural building of any class. I will show you this so you understand what is that we are doing. Give me 1 second. That's why we cannot change elements or add elements. We need to be very, very careful with that. All right. So this document, can you see my screen, guys? Can you?
Yes, Santi.
All right, so this is by the government, training.gov.au. This is the class that we are doing, develop a social media strategy. Can you see that? So if we scroll down, we're going to find something here that is called elements. You see? Elements. We cannot add any element. We cannot change any element. So what is the first element? Determine social media requirements. What is the second element? Develop social media policies. What is the third element? Develop social media strategy, and so on. And this is what we need to learn in our classes. And if you don't learn this in our classes, it's because the teacher and the program are not fulfilling the conditions of the Australian government when it comes to delivering and developing these programs. So we have learned about strategic objectives of the company, the vision, the mission. We have learned about our audience and how to use social media. We have learned about trends like TikTok. We have learned about comparing social media platforms, and we have discussed some case studies. We have learned today how to identify opportunities for social media and how to use it depending on if you are a new business or you are not. We have learned how to maximize opportunities for new businesses, for businesses using social media activity. We talk about the frequency, about entertaining content, educational content, and so on. So we have learned that. Now, the second part of the class is about how to develop social media policies and procedures. Can you see this? So this is not like, oh, I'm just going to talk about that. No, the government is telling me, Santi, you should tell students about this, and the content has been developed for that to happen. So if we go to the assessment, that is to the lesson, sorry, that's why you see the first part is this, determine social media requirements. The second one, let me go back. So this is the first part, just that. You see, this is the first part, develop social media requirements, then develop social media policies and procedures. We cannot add any other element to this. So the next one that we're going to do is this one, develop social media policies and procedures, just like the government is telling us to do. You see, number 2, elements. So let's work with that element, number 2 now. I'm going to send you this document, guys, for you to understand more what we're talking about. Right, so that is what the content is telling us to provide you in a class like this one. If one day you say, Santi, you didn't talk about this, the content didn't talk about that, you need to let me know, so I change that. But believe me, we have done this with a lot of professionalism. So what is mandated, what is directed to include in the program is included in this program. All right, so let's do the second part now. All right, so we need to determine the social media policies. So now that we have learned about the importance of social media and how to define social media requirements for a business, it is time to do the social media policies and procedures. Now, what happens if a company does not have social media policies? What happens? What you need to do?
Maybe have the sanction or close the business or don't complete the requirement the government.
Okay, good question, good answer.
If,
What do you think? Yeah.
You said, what do we do if the business does not have a media policy and procedure?
What do we do? Yeah, what do you
Well,
think?
the first thing would be to, well, develop a social media policy and procedure.
That is exactly what I wanted. So let's think about this. You are working in a company, yeah? The first thing that you need to do is to understand what is the audience, what are the social media channels of the company, blah, 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 what, you know, all of it, what are the products that we sell, what is the vision of the company, everything that we learned before. Now, you need to ask your manager, your marketing manager, or your marketing director, hey, show me, give to me, send to me by email, whatever, or show me where in the intranet I can find the social media policy for this company. Because that's why you're learning. That's why you need to be professional. You need to ask for it. You cannot do anything. Guys, you cannot do anything in terms of social media unless you have read that social media policy first. Is that clear? Like seriously, guys, you cannot publish any content if you haven't read first the social media policy of that company. Because once something is published, it's published. That's it, gone. So us, in this particular country, we need to teach marketing students, hey, wait, before you publish, read the social media policy. And that's why the second part of the class is all about that, about the social media policy. The element is dictated by the government. We cannot add, we cannot delete any element. So be careful when we talk about elements. Be very careful. Because we cannot change that. We cannot change the structure of that assessment. Can we change the delivery? Can we change the assessment? Yes. But that is different. That is something that has to be discussed. So this second element is about the media policy. If we don't have a media policy, we have to create one. That is the good thing about marketing roles. If the company is not really good at marketing, you build up your role. You create your role from scratch. In this particular case, you ask the founder of that company, where is the social media policy? We don't have one, Santi. Then you say, I cannot do social media programs unless we have a social media policy. How do you know that? Because I study. Because I studied this. All right, go and do the social media policy. Okay, cool. Now you know how to do a social media policy. You will know in the next 10, 15 minutes how to do a social media policy. No social media policy, no game. You cannot do it. Just remember that. All right, so let's go to the next slide. So, when to create the social media policy? All right. When you don't have one. All right, we discussed that. Now, examples of social media policies and how to create it if we don't have one. Step number one, identify the scope. What is that the media policy will cover? Who is responsible for social media in that company? What platforms will be used in that company? The social media policy needs to say what platforms, what channels will be used. It's not up to you or the marketing person to say tomorrow, I'm going to use TikTok. No, that has to be included first in the social media policy. What kind of content is appropriate? Serious content, funny content, educational content. What is that the social media policy should have a scope? And that is the first thing that we do. Second thing that we do for the media policy, what is the current regulation in Australia? You know, like the Privacy Act or the Spam Act. The Privacy Act is all about how companies protect your personal information. And the Spam Act is protecting you from spammers. People that send emails to you that are not authorized by you. How much I hate spammers, you cannot imagine. How much you should hate spammers, no limits. Spammers are the destruction of the marketing industry. People that spam you, people that buy databases should not be called marketers. That is not good marketing. Never spam anyone. Never. Don't buy databases. Never. Don't send messages to people that is not requiring your services. Please do not do that. Don't use LinkedIn to send proposals to people that have not requested your service, that don't have a relationship with you first. Don't be a spammer, please. All right, that is the step number 2 of the media policy. Understand the legislation. Step number 3 of a media policy. All right, who is responsible for social media? A marketing coordinator, a marketing assistant. Who is responsible to create the content? Oh, the graphic designer, the writer of the company, the communications manager. Who approves the content? The marketing director, the CEO, the human resources manager. Who monitors the social media of the company? An analyst or a software. Like when I was, I use software to monitor social media. So if someone is mentioned in my company, I will find out quickly what was that mention. So roles and responsibilities have to be included in the social media policy after you have disclosed what are the relevant regulation and legislation. Step number 4, create guidelines, brand guidelines, how to use the brand, how to use the tone, how long should be the social media content, what colors you should use, what day or what time of the day you should be posting content. You need to provide the guidelines. Step number 5, what about if someone is talking about our CEO being the worst person in the world? What about someone saying in social media that that person is sick because he's consuming our products? What about if that person has died? What about if that person, is so unhappy with what we do that she just wrote a letter this big to all of our customers saying how bad our products are? How we manage crisis? We need to have a solution for that. And a lot of companies, they have a media agency that is expert, that is specialized in managing crisis. We need to be very, very, very careful about that. Especially because it could happen when people use our products. Guys, do you remember Samsung when the Samsung was competing with iPhones? It was like in 2015, I think it was, that the Samsungs. Anybody remembers that case? That the Samsungs went into fire?
Yeah, in the planes, right?
Yeah, something crazy. That is
exploded when they were in a plane.
Imagine that. That is a situation in which you need to have a crisis management procedure, because things like that could happen. People get sick. You sell juices, and people get sick because they drank your juices. All right. Then we need to develop all legal and ethical considerations. What is the minimum age for people to read our content, if that is the case. We need to review and approve the policy. We need to have someone, usually the CEO, to approve the company policy. And then we need to communicate the policy to everyone that is using social media in the company. So guys, copy and paste this in your documents, because this is how we do a social media policy in Australia. Any questions about that? Important to remember how to use and how to create a social media policy. Of course, you are not going to remember all these 8 steps to create a social media policy. Please take a screenshot or save that information, because that is how we do social media policies. All right, so that element is done. Now we need to know how to develop a social media strategy. All right, we have talked about the difference between B2C, B2B, B2G. We discussed that before. And I told you guys that your strategy, your social media plan will change depending on which kind of category your business is in. So here we have some examples of these categories. Spotlight, business to customers. Have you seen a Spotlight? A very popular shop in Australia. Spotlight Group also has Anaconda. Have you seen Anaconda? Spotlight and Anaconda, they sell bikes and outdoor products. Spotlight, they do B2C. Kenworth Trucks in Bayswater, it's a manufacturing company in Bayswater in Melbourne. They do B2B. They sell to other dealers. And business to government, the Melbourne City Council. A council is business to government. All right, cool. Now, I'm going to divide the group in 2, and I want you guys to read and understand the item number 10, and then we talk about it. Item number 10. Give me 1 second. I'm going to divide the group. Okay. 1 second, I need to ask permission to do this. I'm just waiting for permission to divide the group because I have someone else managing the group. But let's have a look at what we need to do. All right. So there are two kinds of content: educational content or entertaining content. There is no more, guys. There is no more. Think about it. There is no more. You have content to educate people. You have content to entertain people. Or we have a different kind of content. You tell me, because if you find another one, that would be fantastic. You know, that would be great because you are going to have a breakthrough. Is there any other kind of content, guys? What do you think, Alvaro, Mauricio? Do we have any other kind of content? Because I don't know, when I was developing this, I was like, we have educational content, we have entertaining content, we have another kind of content.
Maybe it can be both at the same time.
No, cannot. That is the point. Very important to remember this. Like when you combine both at the same time, you create noise, unwanted marketing noise, unwanted. It doesn't work. We need to stick for a campaign. Remember that we do marketing campaigns, so they last 3 months usually. Yeah. So for that campaign, for those 3 months, we should stick with educational content, or we should stick with entertaining content. But my question is, do we have another kind of content? Or you agree with me that we can divide content in these two big macro categories, educational and entertaining? Think about it. But if you find a different kind of content, you need to let me know, because I will create content related to that. Because believe me, I have researched and done social media for years, and for me, there is no other option. But if you find it, let me know. So educational content in social media is focused on providing value to your audience through information, through instructions. This type of content will help your brand to position itself as an authority in your industry. How good is that? The authority in the industry is your business because you create educational content. All right. Entertaining content is designed not to be the leader, but is designed to capture the attention of new people. And this content will be remembered probably more than the educational content because it's funny. It's good too. But have a look. Look, Maria, look what is this. Look, mixing educational and entertaining content can dilute your message and confuse your audience, you see? So,
sorry, but we could find an educational content that people find entertaining. For example, documentaries are educational and they entertain people.
but the core is education.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the focus is educational, but they make it entertaining.
Hey,
Yeah.
But the focus is education. That is probably what I want to explain. Well done. Thank you, Mauro. Yeah. The focus has to be education. Could it be entertaining? All right, but that is not the focus. That is not the purpose. You know, when they were thinking about how to create that content, they were not thinking about, let's make something that is entertaining. They were thinking, let's make something that will tell people about the stars and the planets and the animals. But let's add music. Let's have it in 4K. Let's have a good background voice. So it's also entertaining, but the core is create a content that will teach something to someone else. Well done, Mauricio. And Maria, if we see things from that perspective, then your point has a lot of validity too, right? But let's agree that the core should be one. Because we need to make these decisions. When we say both, we do nothing, believe me. In marketing, we the marketing people, we need to make those decisions. Our content will be for the next 3 months educational. Can it be entertaining too? No, it will be educational. We will make it more entertaining so people have a good time with it as well, yes, but the core is educational. Or you may say, in the next 3 months, our content will be entertaining. Should we add educational content there? No, because then it's not entertaining anymore. We could teach a couple of things, okay, but the core is to get people to have a good time. And they remember our brand because of it. Important. All right. So examples of educational content, how-to videos. Yeah. How good are those? Have you seen how to clean your car, how to fix, a table? I love those content. How to develop a website, how to add subtitles to your videos, that sort of things. They are really good, but they are educational content. You know what I mean? The purpose of it is to teach something. Infographics, statistics, and so on, educational content. Expert interviews. When you decide to do a podcast, when you decide to interview someone that is an expert, by default, that is educational content, Mauricio. Webinars that are analyzing, that are providing in-depth information about a topic, educational content. User-generated content that showcases customers using the product, educational content, because then others can see how people use that product. All right. Now, what is entertaining content? Memes, humorous, graphic-related content, fun and engaging social media and content, challenges. TikTok, you remember how TikTok started with the challenges? Remember that? So that is not educational. That is entertaining. Behind the scenes, how things are done. I love those videos. I love those. How things are done behind the scenes. I love those. All right, interactive quizzes, they create a sense of fun. People is learning, all right, but that is a secondary result. But the reason people do quizzes and puzzles is to have a good time first, all right? Good. Guys, this is super important, this slide. And if you don't want to agree with it, okay, but I want you guys to really think about it. When you do social media, is your social media educational or is your social media entertaining? Choose one and do it for 3 months and you will see how your social media changes for good. My content is education. That is my core. Now, the vast majority of people do entertaining content. The vast majority of people. Try not to do the same. Unless you are really special and very unique. Okay, fair enough. Let's go to the next one. All right, the next one is one of the is the last element. Let me check. I know we still have 2 elements to do: monitor social media and review social media. All right, guys, 7. Let me just move this here. All right, now that we have learned how to create a social media strategy and develop great content, it is time to measure how effective that content is. This means we have to track. We need to analyze how many people is liking our content, how many people is commenting our content, how many people is sharing our content. Guys, let's talk about this. When you create content for a business, for business reasons, what is more important? That people like your content, that people comment your content, or that people share your content? What do you think?
They share.
Share.
That's it. If you can get people share your content, it's because your content is so good. So good. That is the highest level of engagement. Well done. Likes, we don't care about likes. I mean, likes are not really giving any real information about how good your content is. People scroll down, they click a like because they know you, but they don't read the content. You know what I mean? It's not giving us any insight. All right, comments, good. You know, you can reply to those comments. You can understand why people are writing these positive or negative comments. That is really valuable too. But when someone is sharing, that multiplies the exposure of that post dramatically. The brand awareness results will be higher. Sales will be higher as well. So, wow, man, when you see that someone is sharing your business content, feel very, very proud about it, because that means that you are doing the program very, very, very well. Very well. Sharing is the ultimate goal for us marketers. Well done. Any comments, guys? How do you feel? Any questions, any comments about what we have learned? Anything that you want to add? Any experience that you could bring to the class? What do you think about this? What do you think about the class so far? Is this something that is making sense to you guys in terms of how to do social media? Give me some feedback, please.
Yeah, I would say like before. Oh no, you give it first. I don't know who was talking first.
You go, Juan, please.
Okay, no, I was saying that yeah, definitely sharing for me is more valuable than just getting likes, because sometimes even like just getting likes in your account, if you have like an artist account or something like that, that is like in my personal situation. When I receive it's like it's okay, right? But when you give, I would say like in this scale, if you receive likes, it's good. If you receive follower, it's even better. But if people are sharing your content, that means that they really value your art or your work, and other people will see it, and maybe these other people will get connected with you. That is what happened when people share your posts on whatever you're sharing on social media. So I really feel that example of connecting with people about sharing, because you will really feel it and you're really grateful. You feel that as a
exactly so true
as the how do you say that, as the content creator, you really love the people that share your content, because it's more important the likes.
100%. So you said that you are an artist.
Yeah, I do music. I'm a music producer, and I'm DJ, and I just arrived to Australia. So like for me, people who share, I got a lot of audience from Colombia, but here is like I starting from the bottom. So when people is sharing my stuff, people that lives here, so I'm very grateful for that.
Would you mind to share your social media channels with us in the chat?
Yes, why not?
Go ahead, we wait for you. I want to have a look at it.
I just don't know how to share my screen in the iPhone.
No, just take the links and send those links to me. You want? I will share with the rest of the group.
Yeah, sure. Any feedback would be very appreciated. And
yeah, that's what I mean. I
won't get offended.
Not at all. I know you will not. But I will send you my email, right? So send the email, or add them to this chat. Whatever you have, Instagram or YouTube or Facebook, whatever you have, send that to us. And if anybody else wants to share their social media content, same situation, please do. This is the class to do this. All right, Maria, give me a little bit of feedback, because I know that you work in this area. So how do you feel? Anything?
So far, these classes are great to me, because I work in marketing. I work as an email developer right now, but I'm planning to start working by myself instead of working for a company. So this is great to me. It's very helpful. Start planning.
Okay, glad to hear that, because I know that you have experience in the field, and that is very, very good for me, because I can have someone that knows about this. And if you are learning something new, And if you have the motivation to become a consultant, that means that the classes are resonating with you, and that is the purpose of this. So glad to hear that.
And
All
I
right,
also
guys. Yeah.
account to share, because this is like entertainment, but also education. It's just for people that speak Spanish, because it's on doing in Spanish. But I have a project with some friends, and we have a meme museum, and we analyze the memes as art. So it's like more educational, but it's also entertaining because it's about memes. So I will share that.
Mm. Wow. 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 That sounds, I never heard about that. That's something very, very new to me.
Yeah, it's something that I think it doesn't exist. So we
How
create.
good. Awesome.
What is it, Maria? Sorry, can you repeat that, please?
Yeah, it's
You-
a museum about memes.
Oh, see.
I will share it here.
Please do, Maria.
I will follow you now.
Thank you.
I love him.
Please do. And everyone, please, everyone that is watching this class as a recorded class, or anyone that is here, please follow Maria, please follow Juan Manuel, because that's why we are here today. To help each other, to give feedback to our fellow classmates, to
I just
discuss.
followed you too.
That is really, really interesting. That's for sure. Let me follow you too.
Thanks.
All right, following you now, and let's have a look at. Let's have a look at Juan Manuel's one. Mommy DJ. That's good, man. All right. That's awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Anyone else wants to share the social media with us? Please do. If that's what you want to do, please do it. All right, so let's continue now. Just lost the content. Give me 1 second. One second, fellas, almost there. All right, so now we're going to monitor social media. Yeah. So that is the item number 11, I think. Right, so let's go to the item number 11, please. I'm going to share it for those of you who don't have access to it. So, engagement rates are one of the most crucial metrics to measure the effectiveness of our social media shares. We know that. About content that is being commented, about content that is being liked, sharing, which is someone getting your content across other people, is the highest possible engagement that you can have. So this that we are discussing is not just about posting regularly, it's also about posting content that your audience finds valuable. That's why we need to ensure that our content is opportune. We discussed a little bit about this before. If the content is not opportune to your audience, please do not share it. Do not share it. Wait till tomorrow. Wait till tomorrow. You know, like Easter is coming, for example. We need to be sensitive about that. So we need to understand that our content, if it's not opportune, it should not be shared. The content has to be relevant to our audiences. It should be talking to them in a way they will understand it. If it's not real, imagine you sending content in Australia and you write that content in Spanish, Maria. It will not resonate with the audience, you know, because we don't have a high Spanish population in Australia. We don't.
Well, it's because the target is not Australian people.
Okay. All right.
This is a project that we started in Latin America, so it's not.
Okay. Got it. No, that's different then. That's different. But obviously, if that is the target, Spanish is the best language, isn't it? But relevancy has to be has to be acquired by understanding, all right, what is content that will relate to my audience? And finally, we need to have content that is interesting to our audience. That's why graphics are important. That's why colors are important. That's why audio quality is important. That's why the duration of the content is important. That's why we have to create the climax of the content at the beginning of the content, not at the middle, not at the end, like movies do. You know, movies, they are 3-4 hours long. So they will give you the climax somehow between the middle and the end. Concerts, the same, you know, like you go to a concert and you go to a concert for 2-3 hours. What the artist will do, the artist will give you the more popular songs, not at the beginning of the concert. At the beginning of the concert, you know, the artist will give you the new songs that nobody knows. At the middle of the concert, getting to the end, it will, or he will or she will give you the most popular songs that everybody will be singing. All right. So it is important to recall that as well. In current social media scenarios, we give the climax at the beginning of the content. YouTube videos, they are short videos. You give the climax at the beginning so people don't leave your video. You know, the music, the colors, the message is exciting at the very beginning, at the very moment that people click on it. All right. Well, we have different ways to analyze how our content is being received. Google Analytics is very popular for us to do that. YouTube Analytics, Facebook Analytics, TikTok Analytics, Instagram Analytics, and so on. We have information about who is coming to our content, how long they consume our content, from which part of the planet people is visiting our social media channels, what kind of format is the one that is performing well. And then we do something that is called A/B testing. A/B testing is basically you have content and then you do a little variation to that content and you launch it as new content. And then you find out which one works better and you start, you know, optimizing the content using A/B testing. All right, cool. All right, and finally, we need to review the performance. We need to talk about it with management. We need to talk with experts about how our results went. We need to identify opportunities for improvement. We need to listen to others about how they will do it if they were in our shoes. We need to modify, if necessary, the strategy and plans accordingly to what we want to achieve next. We need to refine the social media, and we need to make our content more and more engaging as we advance. So that is the last part of the class, which is asking management. All right, let's have a look at the numbers. What do you think about it? Is this fulfilling, your expectations or not? Guys, this is the end of the class. Before you go, if you are present in this class, please write your name in the chat, because I have like 20 people in the class. The vast majority will please add your name to the chat so I can do the marking. Next class, we do the online quiz of this unit, and we do the observation. So today's class was getting to know the topic. The coming class is assessing your knowledge of this topic. So everyone that is present until this point, please write your name to the chat, and then you can leave. Thank you so much, guys, for coming. Thank you for participation. I will see you coming class.
Thank you, Santi. See you.
Bye.